Hello everyone, welcome to Kalpa Kendra Tarot. Today I wanted to do a reading on a very unique and strange topic, which is, should you watch tarot readings for your situation? The reason that I decided to do this reading is because I know that sometimes you reach a point where no number of tarot readings can help you make sense of a situation, because they may be telling you that this person, or if you are getting a reading about a person, then the readings might tell you that this person feels something, and it can take forever for a confirmation in physical reality to come through. Or people can talk about healing where they are like, you have reached a stage in your healing journey where things are about to uh, take a turn for the better, and your blessings are coming through, and it might take forever for you to just believe in the things that they are saying. First of all, because some of the tarot readers don't go into like deep details about why they are saying what they are saying and what exactly the situation is like. Sometimes the reading that you are listening to is a general reading, and since it is dealing with collective energy, it often cannot uh, be very specific about a situation that you are experiencing. Or sometimes it is like you are seeking solution from a tarot reading, whereas the solution actually lies within you. You have to listen to your own intuition. You have to go within and untangle the knots in your consciousness which were formed because of some past trauma or a conditioning that went on, like a conditioning that has been part of the collective consciousness for ages. So, and you became a victim of that conditioning. So sometimes the solution is not tarot, but we get stuck in a loop where we keep going to tarot readings, because it often happens so that tarot can obviously help, tarot can offer excellent guidance, and because we have an experience or have that memory of learning something from a tarot reading that was life changing for us, we subconsciously keep seeking that experience, and we keep repeating tarot, like we keep habitually repeating that uh, tendency of going back to tarot readings, thinking that that experience will again be repeated, that our solution, that we will hear a tarot reading and it will magically resolve our problem. Often that is not the case. Having said that, sometimes tarot readings can offer amazing breakthroughs, as it has happened with me. The moment when I got introduced to tarot was so divinely orchestrated, as these things often are, because I was absolutely lost. Nothing that I had known up until that point in my life was making sense and was being able to explain uh, why I was experiencing the things that I was experiencing at that time. So I went to a lot of people, that because I had I had an understanding that some of the things that I was experiencing was spiritual in nature, in the sense that I was feeling like I had to meditate and I had to know myself, and I got uh, I got to know certain things intuitively, like soul purpose, soul contract, why I came here, what did I come here to do. Those things which basically meant that there was a spiritual explanation to what I was experiencing, but I had not heard about spiritual awakening, or I did not know what spiritual awakening is like. So I had no clue, and the people that I went to learn about these things also were not able to understand or basically explain my situation to me. Okay, they were giving me an explanation of, obviously to the best of their ability, based on what they learned, and they were not being able to explain or understand my situation. So that was the point at which I got introduced to tarot. The first video I watched was by Vanessa Somaina, and some of the things really resonated with me. Then I went on to watch a lot of tarot readings and eventually realized that what was happening to me was in some ways intelligible to the tarot readers, or they were able to understand, and basically what they were saying was a reflection, or somewhat of an accurate representation of what I was experiencing. And it was at that point that I started googling a lot of things, or got introduced to a lot of things, which was life changing for me. So again, that was just the introduction, or how I got initiated into this, right? But as I progressed, I like tarot accompanied with my own spiritual experiences. It often resulted in intense spiritual breakthroughs, where I would wake up to a completely new way of looking at something just by listening to a tarot reading. Okay, again, having said that, now going back to the first thing that I said, that we often reach a point in our life where tarot readings are not going to help us, and we have a realization of it. I should not be the person telling you this for the first time. Like, you yourself will know that you can sometimes get addicted to tarot readings, and just think that somebody will tell you something that will pull you out of the loop. But no, that doesn't happen like that. Or sometimes the solution is inner work. Sometimes the solution is you taking action on what you know that you should work on, right? And tarot readings will keep, like, even when you know, in tarot, even when sometimes you know that, and you understand from a reading that somebody is going through something really difficult, the advice that you can offer them, or the guidance that you can offer them, is sometimes largely, like, it has got largely to do with your own experiences. For example, I can tell you this: a person can meet you at the depths that they have met themselves. So if you're going to a tarot reader, or if you're seeking a tarot reading from a person who has not had spiritual experiences, because I had an experience of going to a person who had no idea about spiritual connection. Was like, this person used to call, like, this person still calls themselves a well experienced psychic and tarot reader. But when I went to the person made me feel really miserable, because she could not only she couldn't explain what I was going through, she ended up mocking me somewhat, and like, belittling me somewhat, and it was a horrible experience. Okay, so I hope you understand that if some people have not, especially for spiritual connections, I'll tell you this, or for spiritual awakening as well, if people have not experienced it firsthand, they would not be able to guide you. So you can end up listening to a lot of tarot readers who explain things in a way, maybe they do it accurately, what they're saying is right, that this person has no feelings for you, and I would not give you any false hope or this and that. But the way they explain it fails to sometimes grasp the energetic exchange that you might have with a person, that is extremely subtle and has a lot of layers to it, and is often imperceptible by people. So I know that even that can happen. So I'm hoping this reading will bring clarification for a lot of you in different situations, where you can, yes, it can come through in these readings that yes, trust tarot readings, because tarot readings it is so attuned with your energy. You will obviously, you can come back to a reading again and again at different points in future, and you'll see yourself getting drawn to different piles. You can get drawn to the same pile again and again, depending on your energy and the question that you're asking. But it can also happen so that if you're asking, where will I be 1 year from now, or something, even something like what is the next phase in my life going to be like, you will get attracted to different piles depending on where you are at this, like at a point where when you are asking this question. So tarot is usually so attuned to energy, and the way we select cards, I don't know how you do it, but the way cards are selected is that you will feel absolutely drawn, like a particular pile will absolutely vibrate, and like it will light up with energy. That's what happens. So sometimes a lot of reading can come to you which are meant for you, which can absolutely be spirit talking to you through the reader. And it can, if it's a tarot reading, then it's not that spooky, because the spookiest thing is when a stranger that you've met just ends up delivering a message to you that you absolutely needed to hear. That is really spooky. Or sometimes you can have your spirit guides talk to you through other people. That is also very spooky. But tarot readings can sometimes be spooky in the sense that how accurate and how much they can resonate with you, right? So if there's a situation on your mind for which you're seeking guidance and you're wondering where tarot is the solution, and you keep going back to tarot readings looking for a solution, I think this reading is going to help you. That was my intention behind doing this reading today. So I'm not gonna talk about it anymore. I hope I explained everything. I have 3 groups for the reading today. The first group is Purple Dyed Agate. The second group is Muscovite. Third group is Record Keeper Quartz. You can pause the video and select a pile, select a group, a stone based on the one that you feel most drawn to. I'll see you at the click of your timestamp. So group 1, if you had chosen the purple dyed agate, then this is your reading. Group 1, I'm so glad that I decided to do a reading on this topic because it's so interesting. Initially when I was starting, I was like, will I be able to deliver a message with absolute clarity whether or not they should be listening to tarot readings for their situation. But the situation, the reading has made me believe that it was at least this is the first reading, and I feel like it's convinced me that it was the right decision for me to select this topic today. Okay, first of all, I want to apologize if you are bothered by the background noise, which is of the fan being turned on. The place where I am currently is so hot and so humid that I cannot manage without the fan. Even with the AC on, I need the fan, okay, to deliver a comfortable reading. So I'm sorry for that, and I hope you'll be able to excuse me for that. So now about your reading, group 1. Purple dyed agate is a stone that talks about helping you in your spiritual journey by initiating some natural cleansing of your physical environment. What I mean is that in your spiritual quest, usually life needs to universe needs to bring people to a standstill in order to communicate with them more clearly, make them listen to their own, their inner voice and their own intuition, so that they understand themselves with clarity and do not go around seeking advices from others, because it is a journey where you have to know yourself. It is a spiritual journey, is about knowing your own spiritual truth. One second. It is a journey of you realizing your own spiritual truth, right? So if you do not awaken to, eventually it's a journey where you realize, where you wake up to God consciousness, Krishna consciousness, Christ consciousness, unity consciousness, whatever you call it, that we are all one, experiencing life in different forms. So you're no different from a tree bearing fruits, or a river, or worms, or this chair. Everything is you will be able to see yourself in everything and a piece of you in everything as well. No, sorry, yourself in everything and a piece of everything, or the essence of everything in you, right? So that's what the journey is all about. No matter which path you are on, whether you are on a spiritual path or not, actively recognizing that you are a spiritual being or not, whether you have activated the feminine energy within you, the yin within you, or balanced the yin within you, which basically connects you to the spiritual realm, whether or not you have been able to do that or awaken to that, we are all on a spiritual path. We all are here to realize who we are, and universe will act in divine patience by letting us fall and then get up and experience life through failures and success and achievements and disappointments, until we realize the entire play, the whole world's a stage and we are all actors in it, to quote Shakespeare. So until and unless that realization happens, we will keep being acting in this play unconsciously, participating in this play unconsciously, right? But in spiritual journey, once you get initiated in spiritual journey, you have to become more conscious about what you're doing. You're more conscious about your choices, your actions, the lessons behind the things placed on your way, the lessons behind the circumstances that you are a part of, why you had to experience some of the things that you experienced, and all the lessons of your lifetimes. It's a thing where you end up remembering everything, like the entire journey of your soul on this planet. Sometimes you could also have a counterpart, and at one point in the journey, when you're initiated in a journey like that, in a spiritual journey, just for your information, you are not going to be able to understand that whether or not they are the same soul. It might even seem funny that for someone to say that they are the same soul as you, or the same you share the same consciousness with a counterpart, like it happens in twin flame relationships. It would seem funny to you, but it is at a particular stage in the journey where you will realize, yes, they are indeed, like you share the same consciousness, and they are probably, that's why they said that you are the same soul. So it is a realization that happens gradually, eventually. If it doesn't make sense to you, don't force it to make sense. No matter what I say to you, don't force it to make sense. Just know it might make sense to you at one point, or it might never make sense to you, and you might end up negating the whole thing. That also is fine, because the teacher appears only when the student is ready. So some of the things that I am saying now, if it doesn't resonate, forget it. Doesn't have to. Just get the reading and get the gist of what I'm trying to say, right? So when basically when you are on your spiritual journey and looking at your stone, it looks like you are. So you may be experiencing situations where you are not being able to relate to some of the people that you used to call friends, or some of the people that you used to hang out with. So even the profession that you might have had before you awakened to this truth, or this experience within yourself, where you were not being able to make sense of what was happening inside of you. Basically your spiritual what is that? Yeah, spiritual awakening. I completely lost it. Yes, your spiritual your journey to spiritual awakening, your journey of spiritual awakening started. At that point, you might have had to get rid of a lot of people, because not because they were good or bad, or they were good or bad for you, something, nothing like that. There is no good or bad. Eventually things just are. Good or bad is your judgment, which if you get rid of, then you will be able to experience the authentic nature of things without your judgment or your trauma filtering it, or your conditioning filtering it, right? So these people who are not a vibrational match to you, who you cannot hang out with anymore, because the things that they are saying is not making sense to you, the things you are saying is not making sense to them, your frequency has changed, and now you realize how different you are from some of the people maybe you called your best friend, your family, like your soul family, whatever. If you had known of this term called soul family, and you used to think some people are your soulmate, and now you're having an experience where you realize how different you are from them, and you are beating yourself up thinking, how did I not see this, why did I resonate with, how did I resonate with these people, and how come I was doing some of the things that I did with these people, the people whom I cannot relate to at all at this point. So if you're going through something like that, this is what purple dyed agate talks about, and that's why it's so helpful for people on a spiritual quest, because it helps removing these people and circumstances, and just transforming circumstances and situations in the favor of the person experiencing the spiritual journey, by removing the obstacles, okay, by removing the people from their path who are basically blocking or not being conducive to a person's spiritual growth. That's what it talks about. So you may be dealing with a situation like that since you picked the stone. Now, another thing that you may be dealing with is the question that you may be coming to or going to tarot readings with is of happiness, your days out in the sun. A very prominent question that you might have is, when will you meet your soul family, or when will you meet your friends? Because there comes a stage in spiritual journey, this comes a stage in the journey of spiritual in the journey of spiritual awakening, where you end up losing all your friends, and you end up feeling a little lonely with only the inner. Purple dyed agate actually removes people and connects you with your inner voice, connects you with your soul, your higher self, connects you with spiritual beings, connects you with the spirit guide. So you might end up a little lonely, in the sense that you might not have a lot of human friends, the humans that you call friends, and with no one to hang out with, or no one to share your spiritual breakthroughs with, or some of your experiences with, or no one that you are able to relate to, or no one that is able to relate to you. It can get a little lonely. So that is a question that you go to tarot readings with, that when is this thing going to end? And should you be going to tarot readings for this? Absolutely. Just like sun illuminates the things that it focuses, or it gives its light to, there are things going to come to light through tarot readings for you. You're at a stage in your journey where tarot readings can help you. Come to this reading maybe 2 months later, where you have listened to a lot of tarot readings and they are of no help to you anymore. Then maybe you would not get drawn to pile 1. But if you're getting drawn to pile 1 at this stage, then yes, maybe you have a lot of things to learn from tarot readings, because tarot readers are people who have walked a spiritual path somewhat, to a great extent, and they are able to help you navigate through the play of life a little more in a little more worldly manner than, say, they are able to. Tarot readers will be able to guide you better spiritually compared to some of the friends that you might have. You know how a lot of things get resolved only if you talk to your friends about it, or some people who are really good at giving advice, if you talk to them about it, things get resolved. But on spiritual path, what happens is they don't get it. Even the people who are so good at giving advices, if they are not spiritual, some of the experiences that you might have, they might not have any answer for it, right? So with tarot readers, what happens is with tarot readings, what happens is you might get the guidance which is much better than you talking to your friends about it, because your friends will not be able to get it. But again, the kind of help that you will get from tarot readings might not be as spiritually intense as some of the guidance that you will get from a spiritual guru or a monk, or somebody who you will be able to relate to at maybe a higher stage in your journey. I'm not talking about higher stage in terms of, say, there's a higher and lower stage. No, but there are different levels to levels of awakening to who you are, where even tarot readings will fail to, you've learned enough from tarot readings. Now the only way you will be able to learn is by going within yourself, right? And if tarot readings are being done by people who actively practice spiritual practices and actively practice meditation and are spiritual beings, then the quality of tarot readings that will come through from them is going to be that much more informative, and like spirit is going to be able to speak to you through them that much more seamlessly. Okay, so at some point you will become a channel yourself, and the only way and the most effective way for you to learn will be through your own by connecting with your own higher self, your inner guidance, and just exploring your own inner world. But that is not the stage you are at with the situation that you are going to tarot readings. um, like that's the situation with which you are approaching tarot readings right now. The situation that you have in your mind when you are approaching tarot readings right now, will be resolved through guidance that you find from, or will be helped by the tarot readings that you are listening to. Some tarot readings will be able to give you extremely valuable insights. In fact, a channel that is coming to my mind is, it's like I'm promoting her channel, but I don't mind because she's so good. A channel that I listen to for guidance like that is Avalon Intuitive. Okay, and she often she has these she does readings on these offbeat topics, and they're so good. They kind of always, more often than not, um, awaken me, like, yeah, awaken me to a different way of looking at things. So I can see something like that for you. Four of Swords in the reverse and Six of Swords in the reverse. I can't help but notice how both the cards are mirroring each other, in the sense that 4 and 6. I mean, you understand, right? I mean, it's like the 22nd February 2022 sort of a thing. I forgot what the term is for that. Anyway, so Four of Swords in the reverse, Six of Swords in the reverse, Nine of Wands upright, and Knight of Pentacles. No, there's not the Knight. Is this the Knight? No, Page of Pentacles in the reverse. So what I can understand is that the situation is definitely giving you sleepless nights. You don't know when you are going to move to calmer territories with this. Right now you're facing a lot of turbulence, and it's definitely even without the Nine of Swords, I can tell you that you are having panic attacks about this. Nine of Wands, you are extremely defensive about moving ahead, making any progress. It's like you have a very faint understanding of how to do something about this in physical reality, or what material changes you need to bring about in order to make some progress in this circumstance, but even that looks unlikely. Like you are Eight of Swords and Nine of Swords. Like, if I had to sum up the first row here, I would be like, you are stuck and you are anxious about it, and these cards are just going into details about the whole thing. You may be facing an intense dark night of the soul sort of experience. It may be your first dark night of the soul, or you may be somebody who is just getting initiated into spirituality, or had your spiritual awakening, or started having symptoms of spiritual awakening. So spiritual awakening can have sometimes very prominent physical symptoms. Very recently you have started having these symptoms, and you are like, your sleep cycle is messed up. Your body is going through certain experiences where you don't feel sometimes you feel like you may be experiencing symptoms of a disease. You are very reluctant to discuss this with anybody else because you feel like nobody would understand it. Now let's look at what sort of guidance spiritual, like, tarot readings will offer you in this situation. Four of Swords in the reverse is being clarified by the Queen of Swords. You know how, since it is making you restless, the experiences are making you so restless, and you are encouraged to talk to, at one point at least you felt encouraged to talk to others about it through tarot readings. The clarity that you will get about the validation that will reach you through tarot readings about your situation, and how it is completely normal to go through something like this, which other people might not be able to relate to, especially the people who have no idea about spirituality, because that is not the path that they are meant to be on, given where they are in their life at this point. Not that there's any judgment about it, but those people, without knowing any better, might end up judging you for what you are experiencing, sometimes mocking you for some of the things that you want to do. Maybe if you want to meditate or change your diet or live your life differently, or you're just telling them about different ideas and different feelings and desires that you're having, which are a little different from who you used to be, they can end up mocking you, teasing you, or not even saying anything, but have a subtle energy of judgment and condescension towards you. That is going to change through tarot readings. You are going to know with absolute clarity what your truth is, and you're going to stop seeking validation from them. You're going to know that it is not for them to validate your experience, because the only person who should be knowing your truth with clarity is you. And if you believe and validate your own feelings, you don't need any other person to validate you. It is your own validation that you are seeking, and you will deliver it to yourself through tarot readings. There will be some immense progress in self-love, self-realization, self-awareness, growth in self-esteem. A lot of issues to do with self will be worked on, and you might even become a little rude about other people belittling you. Like when somebody belittles you, you will not be in an energy where you are kind to them and you understand what they are doing. It might a bit of your trauma response might kick in, and if somebody is being rude to you, you will not be patient with their attitude, and you will just either say something to them in response that will shut them up, or you might just walk out of that situation sending a clear message that you are not going to deal with any bullshit or any BS, right? Then Six of Swords in the reverse, clarified by the Nine of Cups. You know that right now the situation that you are facing is in no way stable or calm. You have no way of knowing peace, okay? And people would look at you expecting you to feel that sort of, like, expecting to see a reflection of the turbulence that they would feel in a situation like this. Like, for example, maybe things are not working in your favor at this point, in the sense that professionally you might not have achieved the kind of things that you wanted to achieve by now, or maybe even in your romantic life you are not experiencing the most, because if you're going through a spiritual awakening, which I feel like you are, this pile is going through, then even you're questioning the kind of relationships you thought were ideal, and you are rethinking your understanding of marriages and relationships and everything. So people might at this point expect to see you a little sad, a little worn out, or a little lost, but they will be surprised, and you will also be surprised to see that even in the midst of all this chaos, you're actually happy. You're happier than you've ever been, and you feel like this chaos which you find yourself in, which is getting manifested in reality, but spiritually you are somewhat feeling calm. Like everything in your life is falling apart, but you are calm, and you are able to understand that they are falling apart for a reason. Something very interesting that I heard from my spirit guide once is that I once told my spirit guide that everything in my life is falling apart, and I have, like, there's nothing I can do. And my spirit guide said something like, oh, that is great. So if you have nothing to do, then that is the time when you go out and have ice cream, because This is the time when you actually have nothing to do. This is where I kick in. This is where destiny kicks in. So basically your job is done. You just relax and watch things fall apart, and just know that when it's done falling apart, you will be asked to step in and build your life once again, and it will be much better than everything you had, in such a way that it will make complete sense to you why things had to happen the way it did. So that thing I remember, I remember that thing I was told as the ice cream moment, that go out and have ice cream because there's absolutely nothing you can do. So you are in that ice cream stage where you are like, everything in my life is falling apart, so there's nothing I can do about it. I might as well, take a chair, take a seat, and just watch my life fall apart, right? So that might happen. And yeah, you will understand that it's basically leading to something very happy. Okay, 9 of Wands being clarified by the 6 of Cups. You being very defensive about the situation, like your peace and the fact that you need to experience the thing that you need to experience. There's a side of you which is like, when will this end? You're being defensive in spiritual growth also, like in spiritual progress. You're like, I don't want to do this, I don't want to go walk this path, why couldn't my life be simple? And you're defensive with the other people as well, who are trying to obstruct your path and just be like, you should hang out more with us, or you should not isolate yourself, you should do things differently. The people who are giving you free unnecessary advice, you're being defensive towards them also. You are somewhat defensive towards your spirit guides also, where you are like, why do I have to experience, like you are in a very defensive sort of mode. You don't want to be, but sometimes subconsciously you just go into that mode because the energy is so intense. Sometimes you just feel like you just flip out, you're like, I can't deal with this. But you end up responding and end up understanding through the defense that you put up towards these people, and the defense that you put up towards your spirit guide, knowing fully well that you're telling your spirit guides, why can't you make it easier? The things that you're telling your spirit guide, the things that you are telling your higher self, or the things that you're telling yourself without knowing that you are actively communicating with either your spirit guide or your higher self. These may be, what I'm talking about, just maybe your inner dialogue. In telling yourself, okay, what's the time? I'll have to wrap it down quickly. Yeah. So in telling your higher self things like, when will things get easier and everything like that, you're clearly understanding that you're walking this path because you want to allow the change or whatever is happening. You want the chaos to transform you, whereas with the people in your life or with the circumstances that you are saying goodbye to, you have no regards for them. With them you're like, no, I don't need to deal with this. If you are not able to become a vibrational match to me, then it's fine. I will take it as God's ruling or the divine will that I had to let go of you, or my karma with you have come to an end. My karma with you has come to an end, and there is no more karmic exchange left. My karmic account is clearing, so is getting cleared. So you will be able to let go of these people that are bothering you. But with the defense that you're putting up with the spirit guide, will act through allowance. Like even in being defensive, you will allow them. You'll be like, when is it going to, like, when is this getting over? Like, are you sure this is fine? Like, you are tired and you can't fight anymore, and yet you are fighting to keep your soul calling and keep your soul purpose, like keep the door open for your soul to come through and guide you. You're defensive, but your priorities are getting clear. Like even in being defensive, you're very clear that guide me to my soul's truth, guide me to my soul purpose and soul mission and why I'm here, my counterpart and everything I'm here to experience. Your 6 of Cups, like everything that you knew as a kid, which you would be able to trust in more easily than you are now. For example, if as a kid you wanted to be an actor, or as a kid if you wanted a certain sort of career or a certain sort of relationship for yourself, and you're more vocal about it. But with time, with conditioning, you killed that side of you which was so honest and open about everything it wanted, and now you're making space for that soulful inner child to come through and express its dream to you, right? The page of pentacles in the reverse and three of wands, it's like the little things, the little material investment that you felt that could ground your visions into reality are also things that you have started to question. For example, you might have walked a very conventional path up until now. You might have been enrolled in a study program or some sort of a conventional program, some sort of a conventional profession where you thought that you were making progress, and you would eventually go on to ground it as your career. But with your spiritual experiences and the things that you're having, even that would seem pointless. But with tarot readings, what will happen is, three of wands, it will expand your view, it will expand your uh, perception of options and things available to you that you could do and invest on. Tarot readings will help you a lot in understanding the many ways in which you could invest your energy or feed your energy to the matrix. Okay, like you would know where to save your energy and where to work with the matrix. It will be unconventional, and that is pretty much because you are in a transition point and you are not understanding in which direction you want to go. Obviously, if you have family members and friends constantly checking up on you, saying that what did you think, what are you going to do next, it often happens with me. What have you thought and everything, like the frequency at which they expect you to have an answer to different questions, it's like it makes no sense, because sometimes they can call you after a week and just be like, so what did you think, and as if thoughts and the clarification or an understanding develops that quickly. Sometimes a clarification can come through in a matter of, like, you might know things in a matter of a few hours. For example, you went to sleep not knowing what you want to do, and you might wake up knowing exactly what you want to do. But often that is not the case. If you are on a spiritual journey, it's a journey in itself, and at different stages you will have different realizations, and you might respond to it differently, thinking, oh, I'm interested in this, oh, I want to do this, why want to do that. So tarot readings will help you understand that as well. So tarot readings at this point is going to be very, very helpful to help you wake up to a different way of looking at things altogether. It will help you become the person that you have to be in order to tackle some of the situations in your life which may be an obstacle or an obstruction on your spiritual path. It will help you realize where your happiness lies. It will help you realize your soul calling, your spiritual truth. It will help you in these regards. Obviously, the inner work and the realization will be your doing and will be a result of your own inner work and hard work. And it will also expand your view of options that you have in how to ground your energy in the material world, and how to, like, what are the things that you could do, what are you here for. And you would learn a lot from tarot readers as well, like how they are doing, because tarot reading is a very unconventional option, the career option. So if they are doing it, how they are doing it, and how you could establish a career in some unconventional profession. Maybe you would go on to be a tarot reader as well. So something like that, tarot reading is going to help you a lot with regards to that, and it will illuminate a lot of truths for you, things that you had no way of knowing before you came to this read, or went to the reading, that will eventually make you aware of those things. And it will also help you go within yourself, go into hermit mode, and basically introspect on the things that you have realized and what all implications it has for you and on your journey. Okay, I'll end your reading here, group 1. It was great spending time with you. I hope this reading was able to clarify some things for you. I hope to see you in another reading sometime soon. Take care. Group 1, in a very classic way that is symbolic of me, I again forgot to read out your card to you. So sorry. Is your intuition particularly heightened at this time? Are you receiving messages from the divine? Embrace this divine gift in order to live a charmed and enlightened life. Help others attain freedom from suffering and find happiness and peace. Pursue training to develop your intuitive gifts and use them freely. Just like you, I am also reading it for the first time now. Like, I did not read it before the reading, so, and it's very much aligned with the reading that we did. So your angel messages from Jesus: I feel and know the presence of the divine within and around me. I attract good friends and acquaintances into my life. The people I spend time with are people of integrity. I am divinely connected to all life. Yeah, so it brings in a little bit of Christ consciousness into it. Okay, then group 1, really bye for now. And like, really bye. Um, I don't know every time why I forget to read out the card to group 1, but I'm gonna practice self-love and not be hard on myself for it. You should also try to forgive me for it, and see you in another reading sometime soon. Take care. Group 2. So if you had chosen the Muscovite stone, then this is your reading. First of all, let me tell you that Muscovite reminds me of something like mosquito bite, and that's not funny, but I recently saw a reel on Instagram where, as a natural remedy to get rid of mosquitoes, first of all, in European countries, I know in colder countries you would not have this problem. It's a problem specific to hot countries where the climate is hot and humid, like in India. So they were suggesting a natural way of getting rid of mosquitoes, which if you want to know, then comment and I'll let you know, but something that I shouldn't be discussing here. But Muscovite is a crystal, a gemstone, stone. It's definitely not gemstone, it's a stone. I think I have huge confusion about why something is called a crystal and not a stone, and stone and not a crystal. I'll look into it. But Muscovite talks about activating. Oh, I was completely lost there. So aligning your, or activating your mental capacity to grasp things or reality in higher dimensions, or access the truth or behind beings of higher dimension, and can often lead you to have or activate unique psychic abilities in you. So it can cause unique and strange psychic experiences where you are able to connect with beings from other realms more easily. It can make you connect with gods or spiritual beings. When I say gods, understand that in many, one second, all right, I had to pause there. So it basically wakes you up to the truth behind the 3D experience that we are having. And it is said that if you meditate by placing the stone, or if you try to have an imaginative experience by placing this stone on your third eye chakra, which will be your forehead, then like you can, the physical barrier can be removed and you can go on to have intense and strange psychic experiences. So this is a very potent stone for people who want to enhance their psychic ability, one, and also it will help you navigate, like it will help you understand some of the spiritual experiences that you are having with like it will help you mentally dissect the experiences that you're having, okay? And it will help you be very organized and categorical and structured about your experiences, in the sense that you will know with clarity, oh, this is this and this is why this is happening, I had to get rid of this person and I had to make this change for me to experience this. So it will come with absolute clarity to you why some of the things that happened the way it happened, okay? That sounded really nice, and the name that comes to my mind is Carl Jung. So you might be able to have experiences where you are able to understand some very weird some very weird unfolding of circumstances. You might have yourself experienced some weird unfolding of circumstances which made you go to tarot readings and made you listen to tarot readings in the first place to seek clarity. Okay, you might have had some strange experiences yourself, and I don't know why it feels like you might have also had experiences with people who have passed on, or souls that got stuck, and you might have had a loved one who passed on, and you might have missed them so much, and might have also had some strange experiences which made you come to tarot readings for guidance and clarification. Yeah. So will tarot readings be able to help you? Let's find out. You are in a very unique place, and the questions that you're posing are also very unique. So, and the stone that you selected also talks about unique experiences. Let's look into the reading first. 9 of Pentacles upright, third of 3 of Swords upright, 8 of Wands reversed, the Hierophant upright, and Strength, which is called Fortitude in this deck, upright. Let's talk about the first row first, okay? You are seeking guidance on your abundance and restoring yourself back to a situation where you are more independent in life. You are constantly asking this question, will things not be the same for me? Because this person is looking towards the left, which means like this person is looking towards the past. This person is asking that whether or not the situation that they are in, or life can go back to being normal, or life can go back to being abundant and where they were independent. Maybe you experienced something which might have even made you so, like, it might have even restricted your movement, like your physical movement might have also been restricted because of some of the things that you experienced, okay? And it makes sense why you would choose tarot as a means to seek divination, like seek divine guidance. So 9 of Pentacles, you're asking whether or not you can be, whether health or abundance or independence freedom can be restored. Also you're asking if that is going to come through for you. You just want to, if you have ended a very painful relationship or a very painful chapter in your life, you are basically asking whether you can move on and go back to being a person who is not affected by this pain to the extent that they think that it is not worth living anymore, or they just get rid of the pain that they are in, okay? Then you have 3 of Swords, and it is the 3 of Swords looking the way it looks that made me think that maybe you have experienced something with a loved one who has passed on, or somebody who has passed on, or some interaction with a spirit which was not very positive for you. Speaking about positive and negative in a very loose, like using it very loosely, because for the lack of a better term, okay, although things are not positive and negative, things just are. So 3 of Swords, it deeply hurt you, and it not only hurt you, it troubled you. It's not only pain, like the emotional pain, but you also had physical pain and you were extremely scared. My god, my heart just skipped a beat. No, my heart just not skipped a beat that way. Like, I felt a sensation in my heart where I understood that this person was very scared of whatever happened, and this person was seeking guidance, like divine guidance. You were seeking divine guidance going to tarot readings. The Eight of Wands in the reverse, it's like the guidance wasn't coming through. It felt like nobody could help you. Nobody could help you. You tried talking to other people about it. You tried talking to some of the people who you thought was spiritual about it, and they were not being able to help. The Hierophant. Is it a haunted sort of a situation? I don't know. Or is it a ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend haunting you, or a past, something from the past haunting you, or a business partner haunting you? Something you had done for financial gain was not, like, did not turn out to be the way you thought it would turn out, and it started haunting you, something like that. And then the Hierophant upright, and it came together with the Strength. So you basically had to rely on religious figures for solution, and you had to show a lot of strength in this circumstance, So you had to be strong for the situation to resolve itself. You were not waiting passively for the situation to resolve itself. You were actively seeking guidance, and tarot is something that you seek guidance from. It could also be a relationship which came to an end, where you were hurt so badly, and this person was not even talking to you. This person was not at all communicating with you. This person might have blocked you, or if this person was still talking to you, no efforts, like no matter how much effort you would put in to put something across to this person in a different way, or in a way that they would not get offended, this person would refuse to communicate with you. There was something that I shared on Instagram today. I saw on Instagram which said that people who are not able to communicate effectively think that any attempt to have a conversation with them is the launch of an argument, or people trying to argue with them. So it's like that. Every time you tried to communicate with this person, they thought that you were trying to argue with them, and they would get defensive. No, like, communication could have also been blocked, completely blocked. Hierophant and Strength in reverse. You just wanted to, after this relationship might have ended, you might have wanted a very conventional, might have wanted to seek a very conventional sort of arrangement, maybe arranged marriage or something like that, where you are able to move on and have a strong, beautiful, like something with a strong foundation. That is the kind of guidance you're seeking from tarot. And let's see what tarot readings can offer you. Tarot readings will be able to show you that even in seeking the material sort of abundance that you're seeking, or restoration of health, restoration of abundance, restoration of everything. I know restoration is coming to my mind very, like, you feel like this is a reading where this person feels like, I used to be a nice person, or I used to be this independent, happy person, and then this happened and completely crushed me, or completely changed my life. So a situation that happened that that went unresolved is your problem. And it is telling, like, your tarot readings will tell you, it is you being stuck in the past and expecting a certain outcome. You're not allowing life to come through. You're not allowing universe to come through. You are so focused on dictating terms to universe. It's like, I want things to be exactly this way, or exactly how they were, and you're constantly dictating terms. Even if universe has something better for you, you would not be able to realize it, because you're so stuck in how things should be. Okay, and just know this, that your creator is more imaginative and creative, and more, like, different possibilities and infinite possibilities are more accessible to your creator than they are to you. So leave the creative bit to them. Okay, it's like a painter who's been painting for a long time and is well, like, well known and well known all over the world for their paintings would be able to do a good job with the painting, versus someone who only desires to have a good painting create a good painting but does not have any experience in creating paintings, right? So your creator is basically the creator. By creator I mean God, nature, universe. Your creator, being the creator of you and everything else, is basically knowledgeable with creation and knows what is best for you. But you, being so focused on what you want, is obstructing the path of your creator to be creative in your life and work with your life in a way where it can show you why things happen the way things happen. Muscovite is that element of Muscovite is not coming through in your reading, like in your consciousness, because of how blocked you are looking at the past and wanting things to be the way they were. Maybe you want your ex to come back. Yeah, you're still trying to establish some form of communication. Maybe you're trying to seek some divorce or judicial settlement from this person. It may be a situation where you're going to court with this person and this person is refusing to come to any settlement with you. 3 of Swords, 10 of Swords. It's like it completely crushed you. The situation that happened completely crushed you. Okay, I understand what message will come through for you. The question, regarding the question we asked, whether or not tarot readings will help you with the situation. So the 3 of Swords and 10 of Swords in your situation, your heart was broken in a way that everything in your life, your heart was broken, and parallelly everything in your life, whether it financially, emotionally, physically, everything in your life was broken. You could have experienced physical abuse, domestic abuse as well. If you experienced a haunting sort of a situation, you were so troubled by a spirit where you felt like everything in your life has come to a point, like you could have had to change homes, you could have had to change everything. There was some negative effect, some very negative effect on you. Okay, usually this happens to people who are not on a spiritual path, okay, where the vibration is still low and these energies are still being able to affect you. You have still not been able to establish a strong connection with the spirit guide so that they will come through for you actively and save you from these situations. And that's why you are having to rely on these conventional spiritual figures. Your own spirituality, your own understanding of spirituality has not developed to the extent that you will be able to channel guidance seamlessly from the source. Okay, so this thing completely crushed you and made you have a 10 of Swords moment where a cycle had to end. I remember a thing that a friend once told me. I once told a friend of mine that you know what, I have hit rock bottom, and he said to me that you should be glad if you have really hit rock bottom. You should be glad, because if you have really hit rock bottom, then there is no, like, you can't go lower than that, you can't go deeper than that. The only way to go from there is up. Like, now you're rising. That's true for you as well. If you had a 10 of Swords moment, there is no 11 of Swords. It can only be Page of Swords, getting some clarity on your situation. The Knight of Swords, charging air. Like, just look at it like that. Like, 10 of Swords is that end, the closing of chapter. You experience something, maybe you were cheated on, and that is some guidance that you're seeking from tarot, like why was I cheated on and everything. But you're still seeking some communication, some apology, something to come through, and that is justice for you. If you're in a court case, then in settling the matter legally is an issue for you. But even if you have to settle the matter in a material way, like in a legal way, materially, in the physical world, at least stop expecting an apology to come through from this person, because most likely it won't. If somebody was capable of giving you a 3 of Swords and 10 of Swords moment, then if they don't awaken to the truth behind or the impact their action could have had, and the truth behind their actions, if they don't awaken to what they have done, the impact of what they have done, then they are, even if they say sorry, it won't have any meaning, because they don't realize what they have done to you. So will you sit and wait for somebody to awaken to what they have done? That makes no sense. You can just move on, move ahead in life, and go on to live your best life spiritually, materially. And that's exactly what you're asking. Will I be able to do that? That is what you're asking from tarot readings. Will that again happen? You have no hope. You have lost hope. That's why you're coming to tarot readings. You are in the 5 of Cups energy, the 4 of Swords. My God, you feel like, I hear that song, Wake Me Up When September Ends. You feel like, I wish I could nap through this phase of my life. I wish I did not have to wake up. So will tarot readings help you regarding your situation? Not that much, group 2. Unfortunately not that. Unfortunately or fortunately not that much. Why do I say that? Because there are certain things that you have to practically do in your life, like change in your life, and practically realize, like mentally, that you have to get some mental clarity about the situation that you are in, and know that it has happened for a reason. You are very like logical sort of a person. Even with tarot readings or spiritual readings, you are not that much into spirituality. So that's why negative energies, like I would not only talk about certain spirits as negative energy. Understand this, that I use the term negative and positive for the lack of a better word, just to give you a sense of the vibe that a situation might have. Even though both the things, negative and positive, are like 2 flavors of ice cream, like strawberry and chocolate. I mean, it's not better or worse. They all things happen in this world for a reason. The labels that we put on them, positive and negative, is our own judgment based on conditioning and some of the things that we might go on to have because of our own desires, or what society considers valuable, favorable, unfavorable. Based on that, we call things positive and negative. Things just happen. So these things that happened, you basically were so broken. And things could affect you this way, so because you were unaware of how people, of this kind of energy, and how people are somewhat capable of carrying out something like this by masking themselves to be extremely benevolent and kind. They can go on to rip you apart, rip your heart apart, and you are absolutely clueless about this. Even if you knew, you thought the person who did this to you would never do this to you. Whatever energy you dealt with, whether in like a spirit that passed on, a person that passed on, or whether you dealt with a person who was able to make you experience hell on earth, they were only able to do it because you did not have enough interaction with this energy, or enough understanding of this energy to know what they are capable of. Once you experience this thing, you will be liberated from it. At this stage, at the 5 of Cups stage, where you feel abandoned and left out in cold, where you have no support, and using tarot as a support, the only thing you will be guided towards is that you are experiencing something which needs physical intervention, needs some intervention in physical reality more than divine guidance. Divine guidance will come through only when this Muscovite steps in and is able to mentally dissect the physical reality for you and show you that, look, this is happening for a reason. Okay, one of the things that is coming to my mind is learn about narcissism, learn about different personality disorders that can exist, where people can, you might yourself have certain conditioning, certain, like you might have yourself experienced certain trauma which went on to become issues that you never thought you were dealing with, but you were dealing with. Maybe fear of abandonment could be something that you're dealing with, or you could be also dealing with codependency. We could also have narcissists listen to tarot readings, and again, not phase. Although I don't think narcissists will have the patience to listen to tarot readings, or the depth to listen to tarot readings, but narcissism can exist in different forms, just like ego finds a way to attach to different things. Like even spiritual people can be egoistic about being spiritual. So just like ego can find a way to attach itself to any identity available, if somebody has experienced narcissism in their life, they can unconsciously, subconsciously, they can go on to be narcissistic about some certain things. That's why working on yourself is a lifetime process. Like, it's a lifelong journey. You have to constantly work on yourself, until and unless that moment of samadhi or ultimate enlightenment hits. And also samadhi has been clarified into so many types. This is like, I end up giving you something which I think at this point you don't need. What you need to hear is, will tarot readings be able to help you with your situation? The answer is, you are really not hopeful about any guidance coming from, any help coming from anyone. The star is reversed. It's like no hope you are seeing. Tarot readings will help you recognize that yes, you are going through a difficult situation, but the solution is not going to come from tarot readings, because the space that you are in mentally, spiritually, is it's a very dense reality. You are not being able to access higher truths from where you are right now. First you have to resolve these issues. First you have to have some inner realization about how you cannot depend on, how your happiness cannot depend on someone else apologizing to you, or someone else coming through, with justice, or someone being just towards you. Justice is you realizing what happened to you, or you realizing that you are not deserving of the situation or circumstance that you placed yourself in, and getting the hell out of there. So some inner work is required. Your tarot readings are somewhat not going to be useful for you in this situation, right? So Muscovite, you have to, if it's a stone that you want to get for yourself, this is something that you can, again, I told you, no, it reminds me of mosquito bite. When mosquito bites you, you don't really expect the mosquito to realize that what they are doing is hurting you, and then correct themselves. You take action. You either get a mosquito repellent, or get something to get rid of the mosquitoes. And this is what you have to do. Either you have to walk out, change situation. If you don't like mosquitoes, then maybe you change your country and just go to colder place. Yeah, that's funny. Not funny. I think the person, either you or the person, may be really like using humor as a defense mechanism, because what you're dealing with is tough. I can understand that. So now let's read the message on your card. Are you in search of spiritual teachings? Have you found spiritual teachers to guide you? The wisdom you seek can often be found in books. Open your heart to the spiritual education found in the written word of mystics and saints. The power of prayer restores your spirit and returns you to your center. Wow. Saint Anthony, spiritual teachings are available to me in various forms. Wisdom and spiritual education come to me through my practice of meditation, prayer and contemplation. I am a conduit to receive inspiration. I am open to the healing power of prayer. This is a beautiful message to come through. This also reminds me to tell you that if you can meditate, if you are able to meditate, because the situation that you're dealing with may have you restless to the point where you cannot ground yourself, or make yourself pause to introspect or meditate, or bring yourself to a standstill to focus in your life, or listen to your thoughts, to open yourself to your inner dialogue, or to the chatter of your mind. So that may be happening, but if you can, then go ahead, do that. And I know that you're seeking spiritual solutions to your problem a lot, and I appreciate your efforts, man. I really do, because I know I was in a situation where there were so many books that I was led to. I was basically looking towards God, and even in somehow not understanding how God will come through for you, you're expecting God to come through for you. If you're ending a marriage, you are asking whether or not you will find another partner that you can be in a conventional, like you will end up happily married to. Although this is not a reading where I'm able to say so, but even this hope for you, like you're giving up hope on that too. But trust me. Everything that happens doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. It's happening for a reason. Rejection is divine protection, right? So the things that are happening are basically steering you away from a reality and leading you towards another reality. Have faith. The faith that even with the star reverse that you are showing, even in your heart, you have this hope that it's coming. Like, the faith for you, it's like I don't trust things to get better, but I'll still show hope, and the hope and the faith that you are showing is going to be rewarded. some of the, if you need to suggestions regarding, if you need suggestions regarding some of the books that you could read, maybe on meditation, maybe to enhance your spiritual growth and progress. I know so many people who struggle to progress spiritually and feel blocked in certain ways because of their circumstances. Maybe they are with children, and maybe they are battling an abusive situation where they cannot get out of it. I understand. And if this is a situation like this where you are really desperately seeking divine guidance and the help of God through tarot readings, no, the help has to come from you first. You have to make certain changes in your own life, and only then will you be awakened to a different chapter where, you know, tarot would be able to maybe help you regarding some of the other things. But regarding this thing, no. This thing requires your own intervention. Okay, the Nine of Pentacles is your own doing. It's Pentacles, it's a material card. It requires your involvement. Even with divine guidance, obviously divine guidance has to come through for you to experience anything, no matter what, but it's still very materially grounded, and it's only you who can, even if you want restoration will also have to happen through physical efforts. There are some efforts needed from your end to change what you're experiencing. The justice will be your doing. Okay, with the help of God and everything, it will be your doing. It has to come from you. So I'll end your reading here, group 2. Let me know if you found this reading interesting, and if it resonated with you. See you in another reading sometime. Take care. Group 3. So if you had chosen the Record Keeper Quartz, then this is your reading. Group 3. I don't mean to say this, but it's coming out anyway. Yours is such a magical group. Some of the things that happened between the time that I finished the reading for group 2 and then started your reading are so magical, so intense. Like, it almost happened like shoot, like in matter of seconds and minutes. And I can't completely place this thing on you that it happened because of the energy of your group, but then because it also happened just after I ended group 2, so it could be the residual energy of group 2 and then the introductory energy of group 3. But whatever it was absolutely magical, and I won't go back to group 2 to mention to them what effect they had on me. But group 3, I can tell you, yours is a magical group. And when I got this card for you of the Record Keeper Quartz, I just heard a big yes, yes. Tarot readings are going to help you in a way that you probably only you would know, because eventually, if you don't know how tarot readings are helping you now, you would at some point realize how they are helping you. So you are at a stage in your life where tarot readings, and even the tarot readers that you will be guided towards, will be extremely spiritual and will be able to, not extremely spiritual, I don't mean it that way, like will be involved in spiritual practices, who can bring to you insights that will be extremely valuable for your own journey and for your own growth, right? And that can only happen if they themselves are knowledgeable to interpret energy or to guide people regarding circumstances that may be a little unconventional, or they themselves have to have, like, we have to know situations like this in order to guide you or offer guidance to you, group 3. So first, let's talk about Record Keeper Quartz, which is a very special, rare stone crystal. It has these little triangles. I don't know if you can see it. Will you be able to see it? Let's see. Let's focus. Are you able to see it? It has these little triangle markings on its body, and it talks about, as the name suggests, it talks about accessing Akashic records, and then records of your past lives and what all you have experienced, not only in this planet and this dimension but in other dimensions. Basically the record of your soul, of your consciousness. And it is a very, very special stone. Just by holding it in your hand, you can your consciousness can fly away to different dimensions and different levels. It talks about accessing a layer above the atmosphere of ours, which has records of records of things that has a vibration which is a sum total which is greater than the vibration of earth, and also has the vibrational presence of things that are not accessible from earth, but things beyond that layer. You will come to know if you are able to access that layer of consciousness. So basically, the physical barrier that exists on earth doesn't exist when you reach that layer, and you are able to draw information seamlessly from there, which is why when you do Akashic record readings, then record keeper quartz can help you a lot in getting messages with absolute clarity, or clear messages about your past, present and future, and your origin and where you are headed with absolute clarity, because you will be able to get through to not only the higher self of you, but also the higher self of some of the, like, you will be able to access your soul, and you will be able to seek guidance from your higher self and your soul, where they would be able to tell you what happens, not only what happened in the past, but also what happens in the future, because they, the time is not a barrier for them. So that is the card, record keeper quartz. And if you are going to tarot readings, and that is the card that you have received for your group, then I can tell you tarot reading will offer insights into your life which you will find to be extremely valuable, because record keeper quartz will enlighten you and awaken you to a reality that you have no way of understanding or being able to grasp from where you stand at a given time, right, at a given point in time. It will awaken you to a kind of reality that is beyond your reach. So obviously the quote of Voltaire comes to mind, you don't know what you don't know. So standing where you stand, you would have no way of knowing that's what lies ahead, because you would not know what you don't know. You would have no idea about what you don't know. Tarot readings can awaken you to probabilities and possibilities like that. So let's get into your circumstance a little bit, what you're seeking guidance about, and whether or not tarot readings are going to be helpful in this regard. Ten of Swords, you have seen some shit in your life. Group 3, like you have battled some situations which make you an experienced soul, not only subconsciously, like not only from your past life experiences, but in this life as well. You have really seen some very tough situations. Maybe you understand the reason you had to see them is because you were supposed to guide others in those circumstances. We have Six of Pentacles there as well. So your pain or your lessons were very important to bring balance into this planet. By as you rise as your vibration rises, and as you raise your vibration, basically you end up acting as a guide for a lot of people who are not able to access the frequency that you're vibrating at, right? So you might be able to understand that is going to eventually happen for you. But then Ten of Swords tells me that you have been through not only the ending of one chapter, but a lot of chapter, and before being initiated into the journey that you are right now in. You could be on a spiritual path, whatever. You are definitely a spiritual person, I feel. So if you're an intuitive spiritual person, if you're getting a reading like this, then you're more likely to be one. If not completely initiated, then completely on it, then you are initiated to be on it, and eventually you will find yourself, you will consider yourself to be a spiritual person with a spiritual mission to seek his or her own spiritual truth. So Ten of Swords, you've seen a lot of endings. Endings for you are not even trouble now. Endings are an indication of new beginnings. So that is something like Ten of Swords and Ace of Pentacles. When something ends and mentally you are able to wrap a chapter, like something happens and you draw your lesson from it. Ten of Swords. So your lessons are also very mental. So just when you are able to close a chapter and you're mentally able to grasp a lesson, you're that's it, that happened, it's a wrap. And then you close that chapter, and then immediately you open another chapter. So you realize that why things happen so that sometimes people leave your life, or sometimes you exit from certain circumstances, realities, situations, people's lives, so that you can move on to the next chapter. And the next chapter is some people are not going to join you on your next chapter, and you absolutely know it. And when you are you are one of those people, when you are going through something extremely troubling, you realize that something good is coming. So you're like a little excited, a little sad for what is happening, and also can't wait, like excited for the new future that is coming in. Oh, such a great vibe, group 3. Thank you for sharing your energy with me. Okay, so yeah, do I keep, what have I done? Oh, sorry. Since taking that card away, I don't think you were able to focus. I'm so sorry, I did not notice. I hope you're able to see now. I hope it is focusing now. I'm so sorry, group 3. But yeah, like going by your reading, I know I don't have to be sorry. You understand. So yeah, even if you don't understand, I have to find a way to forgive myself. You have to find a way to forgive me as well, because through self-love and understanding how we have to love each other, even when sometimes you're not able to meet certain expectations. We rise to a different level of understanding, raise our vibration, and understand how even I am a manifestation of you in another form and in another body. So we are all pretty much the same, in the same thing. Okay, we are in the same boat, or on the same boat. We are in the same boat. I think we are in the same boat. Yeah. So basically, even when an ending happens for you to signal a new beginning, and you can't wait to, like, your excitement is at peak, and you know this ending, beginning, these cycles are happening for you, so that you could emerge as the guide and the leader to balance things in reality. There are things, the reality is imbalanced. You might as well be able to break free from the matrix. Okay, and have a career and a path of a unconventional path of your own, where you are able to guide people to their own unconventional reality, or unique, authentic reality, which might not have to do a lot with conventions, with established conventions. Okay, and Six of Pentacles again reminds me of you not only sharing with your knowledge, but also, since it's Pentacles, but also sharing your abundance with others. And that is something that you start a lot of projects, you start a lot of things wanting, and what the thing that you have behind at the back of your mind is your own legacy. What will I leave behind for the people? Look at the way this person is touching the books of his disciples, and it's like blessing the books with his energy, so that they are able to, his interpretation makes sense to his disciples, and they get the knowledge seamlessly. Like, what legacy is he going to leave behind for the people? And that's what, maybe you read a lot of legacy and a lot of will I be successful, and a lot of readings like that. So what is my legacy going to be like, or how are people going to remember me? Then you have Five of Swords, which is like the mental conflict that you have regarding different ideas. So you look at a situation from a lot of angles. Okay, some of the people who don't understand, because you are a very unconventional character, people do not really understand what you want to do, what you're going to do next, why you're doing what you're doing at a certain point, and it is really tiring. And there's a word here, whenever I see a word, it is indicative of a spirit guide guiding this person for me. So your spirit, you may be in contact with your spirit guide, or your intuition, in a way where you know that you're being guided towards something which is destined for you, which is meant to happen for you. So you don't get troubled that way, because your path is clear to you. It makes sense to you why you are doing something, even if it doesn't make sense to someone. But that doesn't mean that you don't deal with the confrontational energy coming from others your way, where they are not able to make sense of what you're doing, and they constantly ask you, so why are you doing this again? Oh, why did you do this way again? Or wasn't it better, wasn't it something that you found yourself interested in earlier? I mean, now you want to change your mind, or wouldn't it be better for you to try it this way? So people are constantly trying to make sense of what you're doing, because it doesn't make sense to them, and they're also trying to low-key advise and control you. So you understand that, but you are only going to listen to the voice of your soul and your own inner voice. So that is something, and you constantly come to tarot readings to understand if the path, because you know that what you're doing is unconventional, even with all the guidance, even with all the clarity, even with the deep inner knowing, even with all the validation that you provide yourself, like you validate your own feelings. Even with all those, you understand that it is difficult to go ahead with something which other people have no, like, it is difficult to go ahead with a vision which other people have no way of seeing or understanding or being able to relate to. Sometimes these people are your close ones, your loved ones, and who are not able to, who really have your best interest at heart, but they are really not able to make sense of what you're doing and why you're doing it, and hence they end up worrying it. So you don't mean to, they don't mean to be hard on you, and they don't mean to make things difficult for you, and you don't mean to, and you understand that, but there's no way to work it out, and you just, out of frustration, you keep coming to tarot readings. Now let's see if tarot readings are going to help you understand whether what kind of legacy you're leaving behind. You come to tarot readings for a lot of professional, career, life purpose, soul mission, soul contract sort of advice. So let's see if tarot readings are going to help you. Every time you face an ending, you close a chapter, you end up integrating your shadow side and learning from the experience, in the sense that the understanding of negative positive, why the whatever situation happened, the situation was bad, and you're great, you're glad that it got resolved, and now you're moving on to a next chapter. So now you can move on to a next chapter with the experience and the confidence of a person who's been through, like, who was in the eye of a storm sort of a thing. This kind of understanding is something that tarot is going to help you integrate within your consciousness. You're going to learn from tarot how to integrate your shadow side. So you are going to, this understanding of when a chapter ends, there is a positive side to the trauma that you experienced, or because the Ten of Swords is like a ending of a very tough cycle. So when it ends, so trauma basically has a positive and a negative. I again use positive and negative for the lack of a better term. Trauma has a constructive and destructive effect. Destructive effect in the sense that it might mean that you experience a lot of emotional and physical side effects of trauma, like effects of trauma, not side effects, these are direct effects, like effects of trauma which really mess up with your energy and go on to hurt you in a very physical sort of way, like it hurts you with physical implications, right? So you understand that, you understand the destructive side of trauma, and you also understand the constructive side of trauma, in the sense the lesson that it brings, and you are able to appreciate the why something had happened. Like if you got into a tough cycle, say a divorce or a bad or a friendship which was, you were not able to understand how your friend was not being a good friend, or not being a very beneficial friend to you, or being a friend who had ulterior motives with you. So no matter what sort of experience that you have, that experience is valuable in the sense that you learn something about the person, you learn something about a way of life, a way of character, a personality type, a different, like you learn something about a situation in a way where you would not repeat that situation again. It was necessary for you to learn about that situation, like face the devil, integrate the shadow side, like integrate your shadow side within yourself. Like for example, somebody who really wants to have friends without understanding that they need to honor that need, like that desire that they have with valuable friendships and with valuable people. They, that person might end up letting a lot of people into their life just out of fear, insecurity, loneliness, and the desire to have friends. They might let in a lot of people into their life who's not able to match up to their expectations, and they end up having a very problematic experience with that person. So you understand, once that friendship culminates into something that ends up delivering a lesson to them, they understand why they got attracted to those people in the first place, because at some level they were a vibrational match for them at a time when they got into that friendship. So they understand that how they were mistaken in not understanding the nature of the person or the personality of the person. I'm not saying that a person's nature is either good or bad. It's just vibration, right? The vibration at which the person was at the time when you were friends or decided to be friends with that person, you were at some level at that vibration as well, which is why you let that person into your life. You are able to understand that, so you are able to see in your life and in yourself the things that you then find in others as problematic, and then you know that these people were in your life and you let them in, or they were in some capacity be able to have you in their circle, or like keep you in their company, or keep your like have you in their life basically, because they were a vibrational match to you. And then you realize that you need to raise your vibration, and you need to change something within yourself so that these people do not keep coming into your life and you don't end up repeating a cycle. So then you work on your shadow aspect as well, and then you emerge as this person who is able to confidently channel, you know, their own truth, and knowing very well that whatever happened for a reason. Like even after a tough cycle, if people expect you to come to a pause because they expect that you would not be able to rise from whatever you have faced, you just rise. And tarot and its guidance helps you a lot in navigating through this, because there is a shadow light aspect to tarot, where they talk about shadow work and inner child work, and inner child healing, a lot of other issues where you could have father wounds or mother wounds, or you could have had some problematic, you could have experienced abuse or some problematic conditioning in your childhood, which went on to have a deep impact on your psyche, which made you not believe in your own potential, because you could always hear someone else talking down to you, or just telling you that you are not deserving, or just like not even telling you that you are not deserving of some of the things that you dream of, but just making it apparent through their treatment of you, or the way, the kind of condescending attitude they would have towards you, that you are not deserving of your dreams. And people can go on to have a victim go on to be a victim of their conditioning, go on to have limiting beliefs because of how people treated them. So you understand that through tarot, and that's why it's a big help. Then Ace of Pentacles and Seven of Pentacles. So tarot also it was funny how it's gonna yeah. So Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles and Seven of Pentacles, it basically helps you develop patience and realize that things that are happening for you in the background. Sometimes when you get impatient, like see how these keys are forming a kind of when I was talking about the chapter, were you able to see the book? Because I don't think the thing was focused, so I just want to draw your attention to the book. This is the book that I was talking when I said that one chapter ends and another begins. So yeah, the keys are here put together in a sort of a in this sort of a in a cross sort of manner, and it feels like there's some it's like coming together of certain combinations, permutations and combinations, which like things are basically happening and boiling in the background for you to reach your desired goal and desired destination. And with Seven of Pentacles, the patience, like for you to have solid patience on the things, like your things you're investing in and how things are happening, working out for you in the background, is something that tarot will be able to help you with. Six of Pentacles and Ace of Wands. Yes, like how you need to take action towards your dreams of leaving a legacy or whatever your dreams are. Six of Pentacles is here talking about your legacy and how you will be seen eventually, how you will help bring a balance into this reality and on this planet through your work and through your teachings, through your contribution. And tarot will help you take step towards it, act towards it. Ace of Wands, tarot will also help motivate you. So it will also act as motivation, like you will find a lot of guidance through tarot, which will tell you that the path that you are on needs practical plan. Your dreams need a practical plan. That is the oracle card that is coming to mind. Yeah, so Five of Swords being clarified by the Tower. The people that here we spoke about the people and the confrontation that you might have in your life, or certain confrontational thoughts where you end up seeing different circumstances in different lights and weighing one thought or someone else's opinion against someone else's opinion, and just seeing your options, and having the mental conflict that you have, and being able to identify the people or the characters or the situations or the places or the circumstances or whatever behind those mental conflict. As you do that, tarot will also help you seamlessly get rid of things that are not serving you. And with the Tower here and the Hanged Man here, it's like, not tarot will definitely make you see things from a different perspective, but on top of that, with the Tower, Five of Swords clarifying the Tower, it's like whenever things are, you are in a confrontational place and you are in the midst of people who are not serving you, Tower usually in tarot helps us get rid of things which are not serving us. It will not get rid of things which are meant for us. It's just the things that are meant, like things that are meant to go away, or things we are meant to get rid of, which we are not being able to because of whatever limitation. It helps us, it gives us, throws it in our face, and makes us act on it. So Ace of Wands beside the Tower, you will be able to get rid of those things which are not serving you, and tarot will empower you to do that. Okay, so these are the things that I'm seeing for you. The Moon, you will get to know a lot of secrets and a lot of spiritual secrets, and how things turn up, like how things unfold behind the scenes, and how there's, like in the reality, there's more than meets the eye. Record keeper Quartz, you will wake up to a different sort of reality through tarot. So is tarot going to help you with your situation? This is how it is going to help you. And yes, tarot readings are going to help you. So you might come to this tarot, like you might come to this not like this particular group, but this reading in general, and ask this question again at a later point in future, asking if tarot is going to help you for your situation, and you might pick a different group and get a different answer. But for this group, yes, for this situation, this kind of situation, understanding your place on earth and your legacy, tarot is going to help you a lot. Like it is like active healing and active processing, and it's very, this group is very active with energy. You will have a lot of realizations through tarot readings. So record keeper Quartz, are you the keeper of records? Are you aware of your greater purpose? Yeah, see, greater purpose. You have a deep knowing of all that has been and all that has the potential to be. Yes, tarot will help you realize that. You have come to this moment to align your body, mind and spirit to promote visionary awareness. Connect with this higher purpose. Yeah. El Moria, I have the ability to forge ahead with great ease and emotional balance. I listen to divine guidance. All wisdom and knowledge are stored within my consciousness. I am grateful for the knowledge that has traveled with me through many lifetimes. My path is revealed. Was it too fast for you? Okay, I'll just read it out once again, the middle, because I felt like I read it out too fast. I read it out too fast. I listen to divine guidance. All wisdom and knowledge are stored within my consciousness. Oh, wow. I have the ability to forge ahead with great ease and emotional balance. I listen to divine guidance. All wisdom and knowledge are stored within my consciousness. You're being able to access it. I'm grateful for the knowledge that has traveled with me through many lifetimes. Yes, that is exactly what tarot readings might activate. Some of the readers might give you certain messages which will resonate with you so deeply, you will be like, oh, I was right about it all along. So my intuition was right, my feeling was right. Yes, trust your intuition. My path is revealed. Yes, tarot will help reveal your path to you. So that was the reading for you, group 3. Thank you for sharing your energy with me. It was great spending time with you. I hope I was able to offer you some necessary clarification, confirmation and guidance. See you in another reading sometime soon. Take care.